Alright. Let me get the chat set up on my phone. There we go. Perfect. The girl. Let her go. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. Sorry. You're not going to get the chance. Wait, Phoenix is in the hospital? Reading through the file of an old court case. It's the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Name Terry Falls. Charge kidnapping, murder, sentence, death penalty. After escaping, Falls met with and then murdered Sergeant Flara Hartthorne. Huh, captured. That's Delia's sister or something. Her very first client was a death row. Ah, dang it. That was a whole year before me and I ever met. So nervous. I feel like I'm going to die. Never should have accepted this case. Ah! Good morning. Don't be so jumpy, Mia. I didn't do nothing. I swear I didn't kill nobody. Terry Falls, my first client. Sentenced to death 5 years ago. And now, prison escapee. Just relax, Mia. Make small talk and try to relax him. So why did you escape anyway? Eek. I'm sorry. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. I didn't escape from nowhere. But Mr. Falls, the police just recaptured you 2 days ago. Sorry, I told a little lie. Oh boy. But anyway, I didn't do it. I never killed nobody. Sorry for asking, but you're on death row, right? I'm really sorry. They sentenced me to die 5 years ago, but I was tricked, I tell you. That woman, she lied in her testimony. That's why I got the death penalty. I swear it, I didn't kill her. I could never do that. 2 days ago, he escaped from the police wagon when it crashed. Then about 8 hours later, the policewoman was murdered before the police could recapture him. Police believe that Terry Falls did it. After you escaped, did you meet a policewoman? Yeah, I did. She's the reason I escaped. So that much is true. I did meet with the victim. But I didn't kill her. She was alive when I left. She was alive. It's true. I can trust him, right? I mean, I should. Huh. Oh, there he is. There's Godot. You're not going to figure out the truth by just staring at the guy. Why are you here? Came to see how our little kitten was doing all alone in the big, scary lion's den. I thought maybe you'd like someone to play with. Where's Mr. Grossberg? Ha! That old man is probably still in bed. Bet he's clutching an empty bottle and mumbling in his sleep. Aren't I good enough? After all, it's me, Diego, Armando. I didn't say... So, Diego Armando, the finest attorney at Grossberg Law Offices is here for me. No. You've got it all wrong. Today, you're the finest. After all, it took an amazing amount of guts to take this case. Imagine. An escaped death row convict for a first trial. Yeah, thanks. I sure wish I could get out of it, though. Relax. I just heard some good news. Housekeeper for today is fresh out of his diapers as well. Really? However, like a certain somebody who I won't mention, he's earned the reputation as a genius since beginning his law career. Genius? Well, it's about time to head in, kitten. Sharpen those claws of yours. It's go time. So we're about to learn why Godot is pissed at us. Solitary confinement cell for the condemned must be the world's loneliest place. And that's what my client ran away from. Every other lawyer gave up on him, but not me. When I saw those overflowing eyes and heard that simple childlike voice, I just had the feeling that he was telling the truth. Court is now in session for the trial of Terry Falls. Defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. I understand the lawyers for both sides are newcomers? Yes, Your Honor. I'm Mia Fey. Miles Edgeworth, Your Honor. So you're the new prosecutor everyone's talking about, eh? You say you joined the prosecutor's office at quite an early age. At 20, Your Honor. Guess our little kitten has earned himself much of a reputation yet, huh? Come on, Mia. You can't lose. That's someone younger than you. Young people running a trial. I'm not too sure how I feel about that. Now then, the defendant in this case is currently a felon on death row. 2 days ago, he escaped from a police wagon. Is that correct? Precisely. The defendant is not on trial for escaping prison. On the day that the defendant escaped, the policewoman was murdered. So we're here to determine if Mr. Falls was responsible for her death? You got it, kitten. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth, let's hear your opening statement. Yes, Your Honor, it was 5 years ago. The defendant, Terry Falls, was sentenced to death in this very court. His crimes were kidnapping, extortion, and murder. The girl he threw off the bridge was only 14 years old. Truly a horrible crime. I remember it well. There was no decisive evidence. The trial was long and protracted. Correct. But in the end, what finally decided the case was a certain witness's testimony. A witness's testimony. The testimony of Detective Valerie Hawthorne, the person who confronted this criminal. She arrested Mr. Falls at the scene and later testified against him. She said she witnessed Mr. Falls throw his young victim into the river. Oh, but we know that it was the gunshot that caused that, so she probably shot the girl. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful current. Most bodies that fall there are never recovered. As Hawthorne's testimony was the one that put him away. The policewoman you just mentioned, that wouldn't be exactly the victim, same woman that was killed 2 days ago. Police Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Aha, I see. The man who was sentenced to death based on her testimony escaped 2 days ago. With only one thing on his mind, to take revenge against the woman who convicted him. Aha, the truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes. It's quite obvious that the defendant is guilty. Well, wait a minute, that's not right. At least hear the case before you decide on the outcome, Your Honor. Watch yourself, Miss Fey. I'm not sure I care for your word choice or your tone of voice. Young people these days simply don't know how to respect their elders. Why, you're even younger than me, you hypocrite. Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, please call your first witness. Call the detective who is in charge of the initial investigation of this case. Witness, state your name and occupation. Wow, he hadn't changed much, huh? Gumshoe, Dick Gumshoe. I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir. Aside from his coat color, I guess. I got promoted to Detective Division half a year ago. I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am, you got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous. Excuse me? No, seriously, my heart, it's aching for you. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Okay, I got it. Probably his wallet. Oh, Detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran on the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir. I gotcha. Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. This is a sketch of the Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. The river that runs under there is the Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met here, at the top of the bridge. After stabbing her at the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. She was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I see. Was victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Fortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Huh. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you that I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor? If you will listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on that bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? I'm not sure I like you, wagging your finger at me as though I was some hoser.
As if I was some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony.
Yes, sir. Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake, and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Hey, me no. The day of the incident. I am? Okay, well, that's embarrassing. Usually I check that, but I guess I was checking on something. I came straight back. Oh, that's like 18 minutes of, or not 18, 13 minutes of me having that screen up. Well, thank you for getting me covered there. I definitely would have not noticed it for a while. I probably would have been like 30 minutes or so in. The day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to the Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Falls. That's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Yeah, you're right. We got crime to solve, not setting the proper capture correctly. The criminal stuffed your body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Falls was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, will the defendant please hurry up and proceed with the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination, coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kitten. You keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee. I'm not trembling, it's just cold in here. Courtroom can be a cold battlefield, alright? Especially for a beginner. I don't need you to worry about me. I mean, defendant, witness, everyone's a beginner here. Ah, you got me there. Maybe just keep your claws out and show them what you got, kitten. It's okay, Mia, stay calm. Just remember, those court proceeding videos, you stayed up all last night watching. Let's see. It's an unknown person. You have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? The one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Falls. What? The defendant? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Falls. A note? Yeah, a top secret memo that she left in her desk. According to this note, it seems that the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Falls. Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me? Ha, so I guess the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's the detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way because the prosecutor told me to. Was that a trap? With a cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. A bridge up the mountains, but why meet there? Because it is a very important place to the defendant. That's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember, 5 years ago, the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto the bridge. It was there that he killed his hostage. The place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Falls. Ah, returned to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great. We even got to say, "Don't move, we've got you surrounded." Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? Huh. If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call from Mr. Falls, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive. I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. Because Falls had a car then. Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What, you mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Huh. Car thieves. Not sure how I feel about the car thieves. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Actually, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. No, there would be more damage if that were so, because I know for a fact those little, I don't know what they're called. If one of the things connected to the trunk there, definitely would press down, because I've had that ruin so many of bags after coming home from the store, because that thing, like, pushed down on them and crushed some of the stuff. Because they're like iron bars that squish. So that's definitely would be more damage there. This game's not realistic in showing the gore like it should. That's why it's rated T. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. Victim. She was stabbed in the back, correct? Well, the blood is like, or getting stabbed is saying that she had a thick coat on, so there was no blood left behind. Yeah? Ah. For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here. Can't tell from this photo, but the knife was stuck in her back, nice and firm. The condition of the body when discovered is very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? What did the defendant have to say about this photo? What he always says, ma'am. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. That's all he says. Nothing. I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car. It's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says... sorry, I told a little lie. Or something like that. Well, in any case, since he was caught and arrested. Precisely. It certainly is some impressive police work. Well, no, actually it was way too close for comfort. Except at checkpoint just after 5 p.m. You figure that Mr. Falls might try to run. What do you mean it was too close for comfort? The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint. That was kind of close. Any later, Mr. Falls could have slipped right by. Listen up, kitten. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony. A trap? Walk into it carelessly and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh? No, it's not. Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you better get some more information. If you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards. Ever famous contradictions. Sure hope I can find some of those. Let's see, so down the back. This is the bridge. I imagine this is gonna be important later. Wear a white scarf for identification. Oh, that would be the flaw there. There's no white scarf.
Objection!
Witness? What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye? I'm sorry, I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that. You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, not sure I like this. Huh. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy? This dude is really addicted to coffee. I am surprised this dude is not, like, needing a new heart. Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee. Come on, Mia. Shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective? Yes, ma'am. This photo. You said that there was nothing particular about it. Is that correct? Yeah, that's what I said. Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim. The note? It very clearly says, wear a white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus the special request. I have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where is that white scarf? Can't seem to find it in this photo. Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the trunk, ma'am. When you stopped there, you should have looked for it. The caller told her to wear it to identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you are searching so desperately for is this one, perchance. Where'd you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. Why? Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal stash, or satchel. It's the safest place I know. Huh. That hotshot sure has flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white, as the color requested. As you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. Looks like it spent some time in the mud. Not surprising. It was drizzling on the mountain that day. Prosecutor Edgeworth. He was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time. The court will accept this scarf into evidence. Now, if the attorney for the defense is finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. It is alright with you, isn't it, Miss Faye? Boy, would I like to wrap up this scarf around his smarmy little neck. Good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Mr. Falls did indeed meet on the bridge that day. Furthermore, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it. Everything is moving at his whim. Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. A genius, huh? The only problem is, because of the events of the game, we know that she loses this case. She mentions it herself in the tutorial, and then, of course, he never had a losing record until Phoenix Wright happened. Actually, there's an eyewitness who was there when the incident took place. This photo was accidentally taken by the witness. It shows Vic wearing the scarf, sir. It was drizzling that day, unfortunately. It's a little hard to see what's going on. Anyway, the criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. That must have been when the scarf fell off. Look at this photo. You really get the sense of, that this bridge is very high up. It's about 40 feet drop from the bridge to the Eagle River down below. Mr. Edgeworth, who took this photo anyway? Let's just say it was a well-intentioned third party. Aha, potential witness. So why isn't this person in the courtroom? Well, they said they absolutely did not want to testify. The person in question is very delicate, Your Honor. Besides, as long as we have this photo, we see no reason to compel them to testify. I'm sure how I feel about that. So, as you can see, Terry Falls had both the motive and the opportunity. I think it's quite clear at this point what happened on that bridge. Huh. Aha, the truth is becoming clear to me now. Huh? Yes, it's quite obvious. He's clearly guilty. But not again. That's not fair. I haven't done my cross-examination yet. What do you mean, Who is this eyewitness? She's a college student. Female college student? That's right. Meaning she's and a college student, ma'am. She doesn't do well in front of other people, so I came to testify for her. Maybe so, but as the attorney for the defense, I have the right to cross-examine her. For the time being, we're not relying on the eyewitness's statements, that is all. What is that supposed to mean? The prosecution has other, more decisive evidence. Our case doesn't rest on the vague testimony of a female college student. Female college student, eh? Meaning she's female and a college student, sir. If you absolutely must hear her testimony, you'll have to give us a good reason why. Please tell us about the more decisive evidence in question. The victim is wearing a scarf in that photo, alright. So, about the witness who took this photo, what was the person doing all the way in the mountains? She was taking photos of wildflowers, apparently. There's so many unusual types of flora on that mountain, Miss Faye. People in the area say it's because of the spirits that live there. Spirits? Now that you mention it, this photo, this cloudy fog-like thing, is that a ghost? I don't believe it. No, Your Honor, no. I don't think it's a ghost. Drizzling, huh? That's right. There was a light rain coming down. The whole place was dreary. Not as dreary as the mood that's in this courtroom right now. Haha. Looks like a cold front just moved in. Poor Gumshoe. In any case. The point is that the area was quite damp. There was even some fog. I even slipped and fell while I was on the bridge. It was really something. Is that part of the witness's testimony as well? Of course it is. He pushed the victim hard in the back and she fell down right on her stomach. Huh. I remember that happening once myself. It was really brutal. Are you talking about seeing someone get pushed, or were you the one getting pushed? Or does it mean that you pushed someone down like that once? With his mind-boggling tales and the way he said brutal, I wonder if he's Canadian. Yeah, he's definitely Canadian. Ah, save your nasty look for the right person. Huh? Take a good look. Poor baby. The court record seems to have wet itself. Hey, watch where you spill your coffee. Court record, huh? So in other words, there was a struggle between the criminal and the victim, huh? That's when the witness said. Well, looks like she didn't remember about the scarf. From what she said, it sounded like a pretty violent fight, ma'am. The area was wet from rain. The bridge was probably wet, too. I should explain why the scarf would be covered in mud, but there's something about the testimony that it's still bothering me. Yeah, talk about a surprise. I had no idea there was a photo. So what do I do? You really still believe him? Mr. Crybaby, I mean. Of course I do. Huh. So a little kitten believes in fairy tales, huh? In that case, the answer is obvious. What you believe is the truth. And that means that somewhere, hidden in the testimony, is a contradiction. One huge contradiction waiting to be discovered. That's your chance. It's definitely this part right here. Really? I mean, like, it's showing that he didn't get behind her. Maybe it will be this photo, showing that she has no dirt on her or anything. So at the time of the crime, there was a light drizzle coming down, correct? Yeah, and fog, too. Just generally soggy atmosphere. Well, I have evidence that doesn't go with the soggy atmosphere. This is a photo of the victim's body that was found in the car trunk. Considering the conditions at the scene of the crime, something isn't right. Well, by all means, please enlighten us as to what isn't right. Naturally, the answer is right here. The victim's coat? As far as I can see, there's nothing strange about it. That's exactly what's strange. Call the testimony. What were the conditions on the bridge that day? It was drizzling and foggy. Dusky bridge was all wet. If the victim really had fallen down on her stomach on top of the bridge, and the front of her coat should have been covered in mud. That's exactly right. The other day I fell on a muddy street and my gorgeous playoff beard was befouled. I do admit that the crime scene was quite wet that day. However, that doesn't mean that the top of the bridge itself was muddy. If Your Honor had fallen into the shower instead of a muddy street, your glorious hockey beard, pride of the legal league, would be wet but not muddy. Unfortunately, I have yet to test that. Still, your point is well taken. Can you prove that the surface of the bridge was muddy that day? Surface of the bridge. Huh. Ha. A real man wouldn't stand for a taunt like that. Neither would a real woman. Of course I can. The bridge was muddy because of this. The evidence is the scarf. Ah, should be obvious. If the scarf fell onto the bridge and got this muddy, it means the bridge is obviously covered in mud. No, I can't be outwitted by this novice bimbo. And then she just called him a himbo. Hey, same to you, buddy. This Faye assertion makes perfect sense to me. To admit that there appears to be a contradiction between the condition of the victim's coat and scarf. However, the real question is, why is there a contradiction? Huh? For every contradiction, there exists an explanation. Let's look at what the explanation in this case may be, shall we? Alright. It's not like he's really giving me a choice here. Ah, you're doing pretty well for a little kitten. Mr. Armando. Alright, I need to be right back. It'll probably be a sort of long BRB, but I'll be back. Okay. Just remember, when you're important, people always wait until you're doing something to ask you to do stuff. When you're not busy at all, people don't want to bother you. When you are doing a little something, people love to bother you. Mr. Armando. I know what he says. Contradiction always comes down to a lie. Is either the victim discovered in the trunk, the witness's photo showing the defendant and the victim, or the witness testimony that stated that she saw the moment of the murder. Just relax and think it over. It's pretty simple, isn't it? False evidence. It's one of those three. Just what you said just now. I'm not sure I like that. That wasn't me, Your Honor. It was a coffee aficionado over here that said that. This court is not in the habit of accepting false evidence, you know. Blame it on him, Your Honor. He's the one trying to slip false evidence into court. We won't let him. We'll expose his evidence as a flimsy scam it really is. Yes. False evidence in this case is the... It's definitely her. It is no-brainer. Obviously, it's the witnesses that's suspicious. During his earlier testimony, the detective pointed out a crucial fact. The criminal shoved the victim down from behind and stabbed her in the back. Now, that is testimony exactly... Now, is that the testimony exactly what the witness claims to have seen? Yeah, that's what the witness told us. My testimony is filled with holes. After all, the victim's coat isn't dirty at all. That's true. Not just true, it's the truth. There truly is a decisive witness in this case. I'm certain that boy wonder over there would have called them in for the first place. Your Honor, the defendant requests to cross-examine the eyewitness. Testimony presented so far is not only vague, but contrary as well. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, it appears that we all need to hear from your mystery witness after all. You should brace yourself for the brutal truth. Your Honor, the prosecution has no intention of hiding the witness from the court. You're prepared to present our witness at any time. Very well. Please bring forth your witness at this time. What Edgeworth just said kind of worries me. What does he mean by the brutal truth? Now, let's proceed with the testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, please go right ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. Prosecution summons the woman who saw the events that day with her very own eyes. This is it, Mia. The battle begins here. Witness, what is your name and occupation? Oh, it's her, the sister, Delia. Everyone is silent. I can hear their hearts going pitter-patter. Huh. Oh. Well, look at you. How can I put it? Look as scrumptious as a double-double and a dozen donut holes. I feel like I want to hurry up and hand down a verdict just to have a bite. Hey, not so fast. A double-double. That's, double-double. Wouldn't that be... Actually, I don't know what a double-double is. As I said before, I want to think it's a burger, but that doesn't sound like you'd want to eat that with donut holes. It's probably like a drink or something. This witness is very sensitive and delicate. I ask the court to please exercise care when addressing her. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. You are a true gentleman. Miss Fay, you could learn a lot from this man. If he's such a gentleman, he sure doesn't act like one to me. Sir? Yes, my dear? This is my first time, so I'm sure I'll make a lot of mistakes. Anyway, I just wanted to say I'm sorry for all the trouble I might cause. Not at all. It's no trouble at all. Now then, may we please have your name and occupation? My name is, Melissa Foster. I'm a college student, a freshman in the literature department. You were on the scene when the unfortunate event occurred, correct? And you were the one who took this photo? Is that accurate? Ah, how can you be so mean? Now see here, what are you doing shoving that in her face like that? Huh? But it's just a photograph. It's not like it's something dangerous. Next time I'll be forced to penalize you. Uh-oh. I don't like to turn this is taken. Is she staring at me? And you would be... Huh? I'm the defense attorney. My name is Mia Fey. I see. So you are... Now then, young lady, could you please give us your testimony? Yes, Your Honor. I'll do my best. So why does she have a different name? I was using my camera to take some pictures of the wildflowers. Then, I noticed there were two people standing up on the suspension bridge. Suddenly, they just started fighting. That's when I hurried and took the photo that shows the crucial moment. Right after that, I called the police. By the way, where were you standing when the incident occurred? I believe the map would be of help here. I was standing right over here. I was standing in a beautiful field surrounded by tall cliffs. So you took the photo from the location. That location, eh? Not the camera I was using at the time. Just like Mr. Edgeworth asked me to. Oh ho ho, what a cute camera, just like its owner. Alright then, Miss Fey, time for your cross-examination. But I warn you, make the witness cry again and you'll feel the wrath of my gavel. I'm gonna go ahead and save here. Did you say wildflowers? Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers. But it's only February. Well, I couldn't wait for spring to come. Oh ho, I know how just so you feel. It's like when I first started growing this glorious beard of mine. I just couldn't wait, so I wore a dyed blonde Santa beard till mine grew in properly. Would you mind if we go back to the facts of the case, Your Honor? Was there anything strange about the two of them? I'm a bad girl. I know I am. It looked like they were having a really serious conversation up there. So I decided to watch them, like some kind of peeping Tom. Not at all. Everyone is like that. I love watching other people fight, too. In fact, I can't get enough of it. Actually, that's why I took this job in the first place. Too much info, Your Honor. Well, you know, hockey, they fight all the time. And in any case, it's perfectly natural for you to have kept watching them. Especially just as they were. Well, anyway, I was watching them very closely. Do you have any idea what they were fighting about? Huh? No, I have no idea. Why do you ask that? Oh, I just thought that maybe you overheard what they said. I would never eavesdrop. I've got more class than that. That's right, Miss Fey. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why did you take a photo? Well, the two of them were really going at it. Ever since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a news reporter. I guess that part of me just kind of took over. It smells like a lie to me. Yes, I understand completely. Even now, I can't completely abandon my boyhood dreams. Still use my grandson to test my comedy routines on. So you wanted to be a comedian, huh? Not that it has any bearing on this. All I could do was use my camera. So I took the photo of the crucial moment and gave it to the police. You called the police? Yes, because it looked like to me the murderer was going to try to escape. We were already moving before the call even came in. Next to the victim's note, we had already started our operation. Huh. That was certainly tough luck for the criminal, eh? Terry Falls isn't the criminal. then there must be something strange in that girl's testimony. Careful, kitten. The girl has the judge wrapped around her little finger. You're going to have a tough time poking holes in testimony of hers. You have to come up with something really good, Mia. Well, I mean, it shows the crucial moment where they're standing and staring at each other.
Objection!
Witness? I mean, you said you took a photo of the crucial moment. Is this what you meant? All I can see in this photo are two people facing each other. And testify that you saw the two of them starting to fight. Normally, that's the kind of thing we would refer to as a crucial moment. Why haven't you presented a photo like that? Well, you see, the photo was presented was the only one there was. But if you really wanted to capture the crucial moment, then what happened next? You must have taken a photo of it. Aha! My apologies, young lady. But Miss Faye's assertion is not without a certain amount of merit. He can certainly downplay a situation, can't he? I'm sorry. I'm a very bad girl. I used it all up. The film, I mean. You ran out of film? This photo was the last one. What? Unfortunately, that is the truth. I personally examined all the photographs she took that day. All the other photos are of the witness herself, playing among the wildflowers. The witness herself? Then who took the photos? Well, you see, my camera has a timer feature built into it. So you took photos of yourself? I remember taking some photos myself once too. Please, no details. Seems that Miss Faye's assertion was not so decisive after all. Well, wait, just a minute. Well, if she had no film left, she couldn't very well take more photos, huh? Or Miss Foster, perhaps then you could tell us about a different sort of photo. Photos of the incident that you took with your very own eyes. Mr. Edgeworth, you're quite the poet. Well, I think that's the first time in this case where the sound effect bugged or played the wrong volume. Very well then, let's get back to the cross-examination. Let's hear your thoughts on the fight that you witnessed. Yes, Mr. Judge. Like, there's no way they could have messed that up, though. It's kind of like a weird thing. Like, the trilogy, I think, was made back in 2014, from what YouTube's telling me. Because every time I, like, put the tag on it, it's like, oh, Ace Attorney Trilogy 2014. But it was uploaded to Steam way after that. So it seems like they would have fixed it at some point. There's no way they didn't go like, well, it's kind of odd that the one game here has really bad sound effect quality, and sometimes. I guess it's not really bad, but it sounds completely out of place. Like it's not supposed to be that way. Considering all the other two games, they never happened like that. It's just this one that's been doing it. And it seems kind of weird with their third game being the one that has this problem. Yes, Mr. Judge. Boy, this guy really is a sucker for sweet talk. And it's not like it happens only in one of the cases. If it happened in just one of the cases, I might be like, well, you know, that's easy to overlook. Especially if it's in the middle. You never check the middle a lot of times. But this has happened in the very first case. It's happened in every other case since then. Looks like the other kitten in the room is the one that's getting all of the attention. Yeah, it's sickening. Did you say wildflowers? Yes, the mountain is famous for its beautiful spring wildflowers. Oh wait, no, I have already read this. The victim. I think she tried to run away. The police training, she certainly knew better than to turn her back on a criminal. This was a large, powerful man with a knife. If it had been a quaggy woman like you, I'm sure she would have acted differently. Waggy? Why, if it had been me, I probably would have just jumped into the river. There's still something wrong with this testimony. So you're saying Sergeant Hawthorne wasn't able to get away from him? Well, it's a narrow bridge, and it was swaying back and forth. If you ask me, both of them were in danger of falling off. I only wish I could have done something to help her. It seems to make sense. I wonder about that. Something seems kind of off. Ah, does it now? You have a good sixth sense. When you feel that something's off, that's when you need to figure out why. Jerry Falls isn't the criminal. Yeah, I guess this is where that comes into play. It didn't look like they were far off there. And she couldn't have run this way because the bridge is broken here. So it has to be this.
Objection!
Yep. Witness, your testimony is a joke. Huh? What? But I just... Miss Faye, thought I warned you not to make the witness cry. One short testimony and two bad contradictions. There's no possible excuse. Say there were two contradictions? It's simple. Just take a look at the diagram of the area. According to her testimony, the two of them were in the middle of the bridge. But if they were, and the victim had turned around and tried to run, well then, she would have hit a dead end. You said 10 yards, but she couldn't even run 5. Because Dusky Bridge is collapsed on that side. What does all this mean? It's very simple, Your Honor. This charming little witness told us a charming little lie. That's because that's all there is to it. This beautiful young lady has been lying to the court? Just a moment, Your Honor. Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, allow me to personally apologize for the confusion. What do you mean? There's one major mistake in this diagram. What did you say? What are you referring to? It's all because this diagram was made after the incident occurred. It's a very old bridge. We couldn't find any official blueprints of it. So you're saying... I'm saying that even though this bridge is currently in disrepair, there's no evidence that can prove that the bridge was broken during the incident. That's ridiculous. You can't actually tell the condition of the bridge from this photo. I apologize to the court for not being more clear when I presented the evidence. Ah, that guy is good. Huh? What do you mean? He planned it from the beginning. He's a genius, alright. The diagram of the bridge was his insurance policy. What? That coward. Well, Miss Faye, it seems you've once again made a reckless accusation. I'm sorry. I should have been more careful myself. No. It wasn't your fault. Now then, shall we go on with the trial? I'd like to establish, once and for all, what it was that the witness actually saw. Indeed. Alright, young lady. May I ask you to please proceed with your testimony? But it's so hard to go on. We're all on your side, Miss Foster. There's no need to worry. Just tell us what you saw. Yes, sir. After he stabbed her in the back, he quickly picked her up in his arms. Then he carried her over to the car. I suppose that was the only way he could make it sure the body stayed hidden. He couldn't just leave the body on top of the bridge. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm only supposed to talk about what I saw. Witnessing such violence must have been difficult. Yes, sir. I'm still shaken up. There's no way she could have seen it. It's going to be the map again where it shows that there would have been a cliff in her, way. If he accepts his testimony as it is, we're finished. Don't say that. Oh, well. Maybe I'll stop at my favorite cafe on the way home. Make a really great mocha latte. This trial isn't over yet. Huh. That's what I like to hear. Alright, Miss Faye, your cross-examination, if you please. Contradiction is staring you right in the face, Mia. Go on the attack. Are you saying that the victim didn't fall down on the bridge? Actually, maybe she did fall. Of course she didn't fall down on the bridge. If she had fallen down, this photo wouldn't make any sense. If that were the case, her coat would have been all muddy. If you don't mind, I was asking the witness. You don't need to be so rude. Well, young lady? Of course she didn't fall down. The man in the prison uniform grabbed her before she could. Ha! We're one step too slow. And then, what did the defendant do after that? You personally witnessed that? Yes. Did anything strange happen when he did that? Well, I don't know if you'd call it strange or not. But that's when the victim's scarf fell off. You mean this scarf? The words match what we found at the scene. I don't see any problem. You mean the defendant carried the body all by himself? Yes. Considering the size of the defendant, I don't think it would be difficult. Yes, but let's remember they were on a narrow bridge that was ready to collapse. Is it even possible for him to carry a dead body on the bridge like that? Well, the fact of the matter is that he did. That kind of talk is just silly. Wow, why did he get so emotional all of a sudden? Miss Faye, if you think there's some possibility, please share it with the rest of us. Why do you say that? It's already a broken down bridge hidden away in the mountains. Doing anything more to hide the corpse would be going overboard, wouldn't it? Yes, but that mountain is famous among hikers. Surprised the number of people go up there. But it's February, right? It was raining that day, correct? There's also a small temple and channeling dojo there. You know those monks, they just love cold, isolated places. I think the witness is trying to say that the corpse could have been found at any time. Besides, the witness is merely reporting what she witnessed with their own eyes. And you're absolutely certain that it was my client who was carrying the body. Well, he was wearing a prisoner uniform, but as for his face... So you're saying you didn't get a clear look at his face? Oh, they were far away and it was raining as well. I thought I was only supposed to say exactly what I saw. Excellent. You're a remarkably honest young woman. Testimony has bothered me, but what? Hey, kitten, have you ever put salt in your coffee? No, why would I? Why not? Huh? It may actually go better with coffee than sugar, right? Listen, my point is, if you're not sure, you might as well add a ton of salt to it. It might bring out the rust in something, like a piece of evidence. He's right, Mia. Go present something, you've got nothing to lose. By the way, I wouldn't put salt in my coffee. The two just don't go well after all. It had to be here, because there's no way she would have seen him carrying her to the car. Because this would be in the way. It would be blocking that car there. That isn't it? Don't ask me to confirm your facts. Sorry, this is my first time handling the case. Well, let's make a memorable occasion with a penalty. Really? That's not it? Okay. You personally witnessed that? Yes. Uh... Oh, it was on that part where there was the map. I don't know why it would be like seeing her carry the dude to the car. There was no way she would have known the dude's car was over there. Killer not wanting his victim to be found, I can understand that. However, the idea of moving that body for the purpose is clearly odd. There was a much easier way to make sure the body wasn't found. That's the logic? There was a cliff right there. There was much easier. It wasn't found. Well, what is that? Take another look at the map of the area. You'll see how. There's a river right below the bridge. Earlier, Mr. Edgeworth pointed out something very interesting about the river. For those who are not aware, Eagle River is well known for its powerful currents. Most bodies that fall are never recovered. Ah. In the kidnapping case 5 years ago, the victim's body was carried away and never found. If 10 murders were to occur at the same spot above the Eagle River, you could bet your boots that every killer would have tossed the body into the water. Order, order, order. I'm not sure if I care for the way you put that, Miss Fay, but I must admit it does seem odd to not have thrown the body into the river. Oh. Oh, Mr. Edgeworth? How sad. Perhaps Miss Fay would do well to try taking a dip in the river herself. After all, you claim to be such an expert in the ways of nature. What are you talking about? The point is that no matter how odd you may find the killer's method of body disposal, the fact is that this is what the killer did. None of your arguments have anything to do with what the witness saw. Huh. Quite true. Miss Fay, it seems that your assertion is without merit after all. But then what the witness claims to have seen is totally ridiculous. Surely you can't deny that. The body was found in the trunk of the car. It's certainly consistent with what the witness has told us. Please, witness, go on with your testimony. I'll try. All you have to do is tell us only what you saw. Otherwise, the mean lady might yell at you again. Who's he talking about? Alright, I'll do my best. Okay, so is this where I'm going to be able to show the map? Or is it going to be like, no? Okay, so... Oh, Mrs. Foster, it looks like you've done it this time. Done what? Made a crucial mistake. A crucial mistake? Like what, Miss Fay? The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. I'm saying you saw that, right? With your very own eyes. Yes, and? It's simple, Miss Foster. Take a look at the diagram. The place you claim to have taken the photo from, that day is here. You see what I mean? Even if you try to see the car, this outcropping rock is directly in the way. Ah, that's right, Miss Foster. And where you are standing, you could not have possibly seen the killer's car. I mean, that should have been the argument in the first place. Ah. I admit that diagram shows a large outcropping rock. However, it isn't so tall that it would stop her from seeing the car. That's right. It's not high at all. I was able to see his car just fine. I'm so sorry. That just doesn't wash. I believe it was the witness who presented this as evidence to the court, yes? This is the location the photo was taken from. Your own photo tells the whole story. You can clearly see the left side of the bridge. But the outcropping that is being referred to is really more like a cliff. Ah. Your view should have been completely cut off by this cliff. But you still claim to have been able to see the killer's car. Order in the court. What is the meaning of all this ballyhoo? Your Honor, don't jump to any hasty conclusions. The fact that the escapee fled in a stolen car was reported on the news. After witnessing a murder, I'm sure you can appreciate that the witness was very upset. She must have heard about the stolen car and convinced herself that she saw it. But she was repeatedly warned before starting her testimony. She was told to testify only about what she saw with her own eyes. Oh. Mr. Judge? What is it? I think I must have remembered things wrong. Hey, wait a minute. You can't just say that. Miss Faye, no one on the face of the planet is perfect. Yes, indeed. Quite true. You know what they say. To err is human, to forgive divine. I'm inclined to give the benefit of the doubt to our witness here. What? What? That's not fair. Ah, save the tears for later, kitten. Mr. Armando. Don't look back until the trial is over. Now is the time to go forward. But that wasn't fair. Okay, kitten, you need to relax. Then you need to remember the other kitten's testimony. The killer broke into the trunk of the stolen car and hid the body in there. So tell me, how did she know that? How did she know that he broke into the trunk? Aha! Well, Miss Foster, until you can explain how you knew that, you're going to have to have a lot of very suspicious people on this side of the courtroom. Well, witness? I'm certain that he broke into the trunk. Because there were marks left on the trunk lid. I'm certain they were scratch marks from when he broke into it. But what? Let me see that photo. It's true. These certainly look like scratch marks around the keyhole. It's obvious that this trunk has been broken open. Well, Miss Faye, are you satisfied? The judge is on her side. I can't make any mistakes here. What she just said, is there a contradiction in there somewhere? No, she says it was a stolen car. How would she know it was stolen? Like, yeah. Melissa Foster, looks like you finally betrayed yourself. What? You said you were in a field taking photos of wildflowers. Yet even so, you knew about the scratches. The question is when? When did you get a chance to see those scratches? Oh, I guess there's the scratches itself. Finally. I finally got her. Ah, I'm getting pretty tired of waiting over here. And perhaps it would be faster if Miss Faye explained herself. Your Honor, there's only one possible explanation. There we go. The reason the witness had seen the scratches was... There's only one way that witness had a chance to see those scratches. Yes, what is it? Naturally, when she opened the trunk and stuffed the corpse in there herself. The person who really held the body in the trunk of that car was Melissa Foster. It was you that did it, wasn't it? That's ridiculous. I could never. It was the man in the prison garb. He's the one that... I don't think so, Miss Foster. If Mr. Falls had been the one that put the corpse in the trunk, he would have simply used the car key. There was no need to break it open. But he stole the car. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light, which means that the key would have still been in the ignition. Oh, I see. Thank you for telling us about the scratches, Miss Foster. Without that, we never would have uncovered the truth. Yet it couldn't have been Mr. Falls that put the body in that trunk. No! It's preposterous to even suggest that the witness put the body in there. If that were true, then how do you explain the photos she took? The corpse could not have only been put in there when the incident occurred. We already know that at the time she was taking photographs. Now's your chance, Mia. Finish this thing. On the contrary, I'm not so certain about that anymore, Mr. Edgeworth. There's no need to think too deeply about it. What I'm saying is that the shutter for this may not have been pushed by Miss Foster herself. Let's take another look at this camera and see what features it has, shall we? It has a timer built into it, even a mini tripod. And why? It's almost as if she had brought this camera just to take this picture. What are you trying to say then, Miss Fay? That when the crime occurred, Miss Foster wasn't in the field as she claimed? Well, if she really did use the camera's auto timer, then the answer is yes, she was somewhere else. Exactly. She was not in the field. Will the defendant please explain further? Listen, this is a crucial point. Where was Miss Foster when the incident occurred? Answering that question will also make it clear Miss Foster's true identity. Well then, please answer the question. Where was Melissa Foster when the incident on the bridge occurred? Well, if the victim was stabbed in the back, she would have had to been over here, right? But I feel like what it's going to say is like, oh no, you had to put it where the killer is, but I think she was back here. Naturally, the witness was standing right here. Oh, what do you think, Mr. Edgeworth? Before pointing out where the witness was standing, Miss Fay should do something herself. She should figure out where she stands, if she catches my drift. Oh, don't worry, the drift was certainly caught. Yes, failure is an excellent opportunity for growth. Try better next time. Ah, yes, thank you. Now then, please answer this question. It's gonna be right where the killer is, right? No, it couldn't have been there. She set up the tripod here. She would have been like here. Where was she in the incident? She would have been over here, like she got stabbed in the back and then the trunk. Oh, I wanted to point out the car. Actually, it was right here, I think. Spot where the defendant's car was? Yes, she had to put the body in the trunk before the defendant returned. You don't mind if I ask one teeny weeny question to you, Miss Fay? Uh-oh, he's got that condescending tone in his voice. If she put the body in the trunk at the time, as you suggest, that must mean that Valerie Hawthorne was already dead at that place, correct? Indeed. Take a look at this top of Dusky Bridge. It certainly looks to me like the victim is still alive. Am I mistaken? If Valerie Hawthorne was already dead, then who is this? The mountain is famous for spirits, so maybe you think it was the ghost of the victim? Well, it could have been that spirit, right? Miss Fay, don't waste the court's time with this kind of foolishness. Alright. Alright, no, that wasn't the right spot. Is it gonna be the victim spot? But that's where the victim, Miss Hawthorne, was standing. Order, order, order! Miss Fay, what on earth? Your Honor, if I may. After parting with the victim on the bridge, the defendant fled by car. So this would mean that there would be no time to put the victim in the trunk. In other words, if someone put the body in the trunk, it could only have been before the defendant met the victim. Mr. Flaws met with the victim. The only person with the opportunity to put the victim in the trunk, the same man that killed her, Terry Flaws. So you don't understand, do you, Mr. Edgeworth? At the time the witness's photo was taken, the victim was already dead. The person in the photo was not Valerie Hawthorne. What? I've never heard anything more ridiculous in my entire life. Then who exactly is the victim in this photo? It's obvious, isn't it? It's your very own witness. What? What's the only possible explanation? The woman that Mr. Flaws met on the bridge that day was not Valerie Hawthorne. It was you, Melissa Foster. Me? Let's remember that it was rainy and foggy on the mountain that day. Mr. Flaws himself believed that the woman in front of him was Valerie Hawthorne. The defendant knew Valerie Hawthorne very well. After all, she was the woman whose testimony helped get him convicted. But since then, my client had spent 5 hard years in the federal penitentiary. He couldn't remember exactly what she looked like anymore. You're just making this up as you go along. Where's your proof? Got it all right here. The piece of evidence will blow this case wide open. At the time of the incident, Mr. Flaws had forgot what Valerie looked like. Mr. Flaws had forgotten the victim's face. That's why he needed some piece of identification, namely this muddy scarf. Ah, it was Mr. Flaws who had requested that she wear a scarf to identify herself. That's already been proven by the note the victim left. In other words, as long as you were wearing a scarf like he asked, anyone could have pretended to be Valerie Hawthorne. Well, what do you have to say to that, Miss Melissa Foster? No. Where's Miss Foster? She's collecting herself in the lobby. It's obvious that Miss Foster did it. She hid the body in the trunk and disguised herself as the victim. She set up the camera to snap a fake photo of them together. The only question is, why did she do it? Well, isn't it obvious? She's the real culprit. Ha! Well, we all have to wait here for Miss Foster to compose herself before we start again. Until then, this court is in recess. The defense and the prosecution are both to wait in their respective lobbies. Yes, Your Honor. Understood. Very well. This court is in recess. Alright. Mr. Follows. I'm sorry. I want to say thanks. You're real good. You really hooked me up. Thanks. We're almost there. Once I prove that she committed the crime. Yeah, but there's one more big obstacle we've got to get past. Obstacle? Yeah, motive. Why would Melissa Foster kill the policewoman anyway? Motive, huh? Anyway, we're so badly in need of information. Information, right. What we need the most is info about this Melissa Foster herself. All we know is that she's a student studying literature. And one more thing. What is it? Well, the incident that happened 5 years ago, of course. Kidnapping murder case of Zebra Boy is on death row for. I didn't do nothing. I didn't kill nobody. I never lie. Mr. Flaws, in that case, tell us more about it. About what happened 5 years ago. Okay, I trust you. That day, 5 years ago, I dream of it every day. This picture, it reminds me It reminds me everything. The bridge looks same, just like then, 5 years ago. Like it could fall apart any minute. So it's been broken like that for at least 5 years. Ha! Sorry, buddy, but you sound like the one that could fall apart at any minute. It's true. I did kidnap her. 5 years ago, I kidnapped my girlfriend, Delia Hartthorn. Your girlfriend? Huh? Hey, hold on there. Did you just say Hawthorne? The victim's last name. Delia Hawthorne, Valerie's little sister. What? Are you serious? The girl. Let her go. Shut up. Come any closer, and I kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. Detective back then was Valerie Hawthorne. At first, I thought shooting someone for kidnapping was cross the line, but if it was to protect your little sister, I can understand why she did it. Wrong. No protect sister. Valerie betrayed me. Betray us. What do you mean she betrayed you? Everything. All lies. All make-believe. Kidnapping, too. A make-believe kidnapping? Delia, my girlfriend, my love, my teen angel. Did he actually say my teen angel? I've seen too many soap operas. I do anything she says. Anything Delia says. Anything Delia says? Hold on a minute. What you're saying is that kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Delia. And Valerie, too. Valerie was in on it? Delia's family rich. Jewelry business. We get one jewel. That's what we thought. Me and Delia wrote kidnap note. We sent to her dad. Asked for $2 million diamond. Tell him make exchange on Dusky Bridge. We tell Valerie make transfer because she knew detective. Having a police detective in your pocket is a useful thing, alright. In the end, you were planned on splitting the $2 million 3 ways, huh? Yeah, but that woman. That woman, Valerie, she'd do it for real. She'd shoot me for real, me and Delia. I was shot in the arm. Delia, she'd jump in river. Oh, so that's why she's going by a different name. Jump? You don't mean she jumped on purpose, do you? I couldn't do it. I could never push her. Anyway, I blacked out. Wake up with police all over. And that's when they decided to give you the death sentence. Oh, I couldn't believe it. That woman, she betrayed me. The way it sounds, it was, he was probably gonna get arrested anyways. Even if he didn't commit murder or anything, it sounds like he was a... That man, Terry Falls, he killed her. He threw her off the bridge. He threw my beloved sister into the roaring river 40 feet below. It's 5 years. All I wonder is, why? 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 Why did she lie? That's all I want to know. That's why he called her. You wanted to hear the truth from Valerie herself. Yes. I forget what she looked like, so I tell her wear a scarf. I don't want to hurt her. Just ask why. Why? Why did you lie? Why did you betray me? I just want to hear come from her mouth. That's all. Well, that's why you made a crazy escape like that. Just one thing, zebra boy. My senses are tingling all over. Tell me, Mr. Falls, where is it? Huh? Where's what? Come on now, kitten. The ransom. The $2 million diamond. Remember that now? Did you give it back to Pops? Did the police take it? I don't know. Huh? You don't know? No, really, I don't know. It gone. With Delia. With Delia? That day, on the bridge, Delia put it in backpack. Now gone, with Delia. Gone forever. Into Eagle River. It disappeared with Delia, huh? Wait a minute. You can come back in now. We're ready to go. Mr. Flaws, one more question. When you said with Delia, do you mean the diamond is still missing? Along with the body of Delia Hawthorne? Never found her, my sweet Delia. I never found her. Swallowed by river. Gone. Delia, my teen angel. My teen angel? How old was she anyway? Just 14. 14? Guess you were robbing cradles for diamonds. Yep. She plans a fake kidnapping, disappears into the river with a rock worth 2 mil. Man, oh man. Angels these days. Balls takes the fall. Gets a one-way ticket to death row. Is Delia Hawthorne an angel, or is she really a... It's time, kitten. Looks like we have a few more aces up our sleeves now. You bet. Train wheels come off now, Mia. Gotta strike while the iron is hot. That's one of my rules. Remember it. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Falls. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best. You're brave, young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, trying to pin the crime on an innocent student is... What are you talking about? A witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime. That's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Oh, Miss Faye, do you have any evidence of the motive? Yes, of course, I think. Ha! So acting as tame as a kitten. Mr. Armando. Listen, a lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is the mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course, Mr. Judge is ready anytime you like. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like this witness is a real professional. But what do you mean? It's like that 100-watt smile. A look at. That's when things are darkest for her. Click. She lights right up. Very well then. Let's hear what the witness has to say. I was out of the country until the year before last. Till I entered college, I had never been to Eagle Mountain before. I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Well, on a grudge in killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago. Or kidnapping a poor girl, saying defendant is a terrible, horrible monster. Out of the country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Ah, indeed. Up to the bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow I'm tired of this case. So, what country were you living in then? We were all living abroad. My parents were killed. It was a brutal civil war. She had to try and make her own way back home alone. I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification. What kind of sob story is this? What do I do? Should I press her for details? Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in, and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether this witness has any connection to this case. I lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Flaws or Detective Hawthorne. Yes, I think we've established that point. Yes, indeed. Oh then, shall we add what you just said to the official testimony? Yes, please, Mr. Judge. didn't know either person? Are you certain of that? Yes, I'm afraid I'd rather shy around people. Oh well, that can't be helped. Why is he agreeing with everything that just comes out of her mouth? First time you saw either of them was that when they were on the bridge, correct? Yes, it really was a coincidence. So what made you decide to go to Eagle Mountain anyway? I just love being outdoors. Picnics, hiking, you know, that sort of thing. You don't look like that much of a hiker to me, but you do look like a digger of sorts. Eagle Mountain is a 2-hour drive from here, and no trains run through there. There are plenty of mountains that are closer and easier to get to. Well, I went there once with the college hiking club. I fell in love with its stark, desolate beauty and its cold yet romantic gloominess. Didn't know you were such a goth. By the way, what's the name of your college? Prosecution objects to any questions that involve the witness's private life. All that matters is that she's a material witness to a crime. The witness doesn't need to respond to questions that are clearly a malicious intent. Thank you, she's really gone too far. Miss Faye, you're treading on thin ice here. Hardly said anything. Talk about sensitive. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car. Well, that's... Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing. Oh, really? Why is that? A witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's highly possible that, at the time, an officer showed her this photo. It seems like a rather serious mistake. That's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book. That's not fair. That wicked inmate. I'll never be able to forget that horrible day. A grudge? Well, the police woman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial to getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, and that's precisely why he had harbored such deep anger against her. Though, if he was sentenced to death, isn't, like, the death penalty more quicker than 5 years? I'm not too 100% on the law, but I imagine if you sentence someone to death, you don't wait 5 years to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it takes them a while to get things sorted. Maybe they want to make sure of things, make sure no evidence comes out about it, but I don't know. It seems kind of odd that it was 5 years. Well, that's probably why I harbored such deep anger for her. Such anger that he brought his own guilt. The client has always maintained that he's innocent of these charges. He's rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean about that? The client. You forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's so bad for her that he didn't forget. It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. No, she's right about that. Miss Flaws is kind of forgetful. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What do you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Quite right. That's why the victim was wearing a scarf as his identification. Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Fall's reputation just keeps getting worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do with that last statement? Your Honor, what the witness just said now is tremendously important. Let it add to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objection. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. Testimony only helps further prove that point. No, that's not why. Enough. Witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. What do you mean by lucky? Well, it's February now. Everyone's wearing scarves. If I'd accidentally worn a white scarf like he said, then you yourself might have been killed. It would have been a terrible loss for this world. I feel like you pressed this too hard this time, kitten. Mr. Armando, keep looking around. You're going to lose sight of the finish line. Justice is blind. Well, she's not deaf. Not Sometimes you have to know when not to talk. I knew about the incident, but weren't you out of the country until the year before last? Well, I saw a report about the escaped convict on the news. They had an in-depth report about his whole history. So you were still living abroad 5 years ago, is that right? Yes. Can't let her get away with these lies. Listen to me, she's neck deep in this whole thing. Somehow, you're just going to have to get her to show the court her true self. I mean, technically the scarf isn't white.
Objection!
Witness, I want you to take a look at this photo you took. It's hard to see in the photo, but look at the scarf the victim wore as identification. Ah, you're talking about this scarf right here, eh? Yes, that's it. The scarf the policeman was wearing. I've got it now. Just don't mess up. Well, that's strange. In your testimony, you stated the following. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. White? This is a scarf you identify as belonging to the victim. But it certainly doesn't look white to me. Ah. Well, it was foggy that day. It was raining as well. It's not surprising that she mistook it for a while. Or for white. Sorry, but not this time. The witness just confirmed that this was the victim's scarf. Yes, but what's the significance? Sure, that scarf doesn't look white, but there's only one explanation for this mix-up. The reason why the witness thought the scarf was white is... man. Witness? Have you ever seen this note? No? No, never. It's top secret evidence. There's no reason that you would have. Huh, I wonder about that. What do you mean? This note shows Mr. Flaw's instructions to the victim regarding their meeting. It says, wear white scarf for identification. White scarf? Ah! Witness, you knew what this note said. It's because you knew that you slipped up and mistakenly said white scarf. Well, Miss Foster? No! Order! Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for your explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew they were quite limited. Terry Falls is one, the person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne is another, and finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. The third person that knew the contents of the note was... That person is Delia Hawthorne. Delia Hawthorne? I never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Delia. Tell her this time that is her name, right there. But what's this? Who is this person? This Delia Hawthorne. Miss Faye must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Delia Hawthorne was the victim's deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped and killed by Terry Falls. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought that she died 5 years ago, when she fell off a dusky bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared illegally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Delia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Delia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster, I believe that's the same age you are. Ah. Even you couldn't. Miss Faye, you're not saying... But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. The girl is in fact Miss Delia Hawthorne. What? Ha! Nice work. That was like tossing a grenade to a three-alarm fire. Well, unless you can tie all the loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. I express her true nature and turn this whole case on its head. Now's my chance to make Mr. Edgewood squirm. Witness? So who are you, anyway? I didn't think it'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edgeworth, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't mean... Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full body checks on all our witnesses. What did he say? Ha, looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? He hadn't revealed her secret. He wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted her was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Delia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. I thought so as well, but, well, as you can see... Why? Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? You don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of a victim. Now, we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder. Really, Miss Faye, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. Huh. But even worse than that, 5 years later, Delia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Miss Faye must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Faye, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would the witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning. Somehow he's turning it around on me. Ha! I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting our claim. Ah, that wasn't me. It was this guy, the crazy coffee addict. I think that's enough empty threats from you, old man. Ha! What makes you think you're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. Ah, I am sweating bullets. Think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You're just right at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me? Ah, the rashness of youth, how charming. This is coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time, Miss Faye. What motive will this witness have for murdering her own sister, Valerie Hawthorne? Wouldn't it be about the whole truth coming out? What is this? Is this the defense's idea of a joke? If so, I certainly don't get the punchline. Well, Miss Fey? Oh, that was the rashness of youth. The rashness of youth? What is your point in furthering such a stereotype? Yeah, I guess it was the letter, not the stone itself. Witness stayed hidden for 5 years, kitten. Must be a good reason for that. Somehow it must involve a Hawthorne. Yeah, it's gonna be the letter. The story starts after Terry Falls escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet her. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Delia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Delia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal the world the whole truth. The whole truth? That was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Delia. That's the reason Delia felt she needed to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. A terrific story, Miss Fey. If you like fiction, that is. Lighten the court, Miss Fey. What was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Delia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Falls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Yo, yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago. We believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Very well. I'll grant your request for the further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but can you enlighten us once more, my little, maple leaf? Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm one more time, Delia. Well, this will be the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. 5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Falls. The ransom piece was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over again. Or to believe after all that, she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Fey? Yes, Your Honor? As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. Ha! We're not allowed to fight. Let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info, the ace up her sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right. It was a fake kidnapping. Terry Falls told us that in the lobby. I do anything she says, anything Delia says. What you're trying to say is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by... Yeah, me and Delia. And Valerie, too. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. I'm guessing pressing would be the bad thing. Yeah, let me try pressing. Did you and Mr. Falls have a relationship? Yes, as a tutor. You were tutoring him, Mr. Falls? No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mrs. Falls came to the house to tutor me. Well, it makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14. She probably came up with the kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in the jewelry trade and are quite wealthy, you see. Quite clever, that fellow, Mr. Falls. Did I hear him right? Did he just call Mr. Falls a clever fellow? I heard the diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million. $2 million? It was still uncut, so it was probably the size of a pint of milk. $2 million pint of milk. I don't know what to think of that. The defendant demanded that her sister, Valerie, make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual. By the way, I want to ask you again, Mr. Edgeworth. How do you think he wanted to make the exchange up there on the mountain? If you ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. But there's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety. What a wickedly clever man that Falls is. Yeah, right. It's all your plan. Anyway, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain and... That wasn't a dangerous thing to do considering you were being held hostage. Yes, but... Actually, that saved my life. What do you mean? You see, Mr. Falls was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save my life. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. Well, when Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I looked eyes for a moment, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. Bloodthirsty grin? Oh. And in the next instant... I advised the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. Crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Then just when I was shoved from behind, that was it. My sister could catch me, fell into the river. That's why you hid your identity? Yes, I only told my sister. Ellie Hawthorne, eh? Yeah, she's the only one who knew about me. Meanwhile, legally, this witness has been deceased for 5 years. I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again. And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right? Yes, my sister helped me get the official paperwork taken care of. Makes sense. Without an insider's help, doing all the paperwork would have been impossible. There's the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could. It's the moment of truth for the witness, too. If the truth about this staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she is. I guess I didn't think that's how it was spelled. I've got to prove the kidnapping was a hoax. Like it's the diamond. But I gotta point out, but what's the sentence? Like they all would make it seem suspicious. It's like... I know it's the diamond, I just don't know which one it would be, because they all seem like the right one. It's gotta be the diamond. Or, Or is it gonna be the map? Right, because if she ran away, she would have hit the stone floor. So, Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt the push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked the court to recall the condition of the Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge wasn't changed one bit in these last 5 years. So when I pushed you from behind, as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed into the bedrock below. Most certain death. Do you understand now, Delia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. It's 40 feet from the river, from the bridge to the river. A small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right. If the events just occurred as witnesses testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see, Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What? What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's possible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwillingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Now that you mention it, I do remember now when I fell off the bridge. My skirt got caught on the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious. Order on the court. It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion. Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault. What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's possible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwillingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. You're ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. What? Shot in the arm. And pushed off the side. Oh yeah, because he said she was pushed that way. She would have been pushed this way. This evidence shows the fatal error you've made. It's a fatal error, alright. Unfortunately, the error is yours, not mine. Uh-oh, here it comes. Miss Faye? At this point in the trial, I can't just let that pass. Come on. Ouchie. Come on, Mia. Make up your mind. Think it over. Take your time, think it over. The reason you want something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. Being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Flaws panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. That's... Oh yeah, the diamond would have been used in this case. This evidence shows the fatal error you've made. Nope. The only problem is this song is going to get my YouTube video copyrighted because apparently this song is someone else's song that's not their song, but because I'm not famous enough, the YouTube people won't be like, hey, look, you don't own this song. I think I'm probably going to get a strike because I did try and say like, hey, you know, this isn't those people's song at all. So, sucks for me. Contradicts court record. No. What could it be that's in the court record that makes it a fatal flaw? It's not the map. Oh. I guess I didn't think about that. All your answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They keep showing it differently in the flashback. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. That would be impossible to push someone off from there. No! But let's remember the size and strength to defend it. Wires like that wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already and so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. His flaws had been shot in the right arm. Ah, and more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. Ugh. So, Miss Flaw is throwing the witness off the bridge? That is clearly impossible. Order, order. But what is the meaning of this? Delia Hawthorne jumped onto the Eagle River intentionally. What? What is this? Hey, that played the tiger roar. Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun in handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into the raging river like that would have been suicide. Yeah, because they make him look bigger than the thing. Like, a lot bigger and stuff. So it, like, threw me off. Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had so much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. The fact alone explains everything. This is why she risked her life by jumping into the rapids of the Eagle River. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Delia that day. The item that Valerie brought up the mountain with her, a $2 million diamond. No, it can't be. Yes, Delia had it all planned from the beginning. $2 million. She was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last minute, she betrayed him and threw herself into the river, with her ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Why, that's simply ridiculous. Order, order, order! Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. There's one more person who helped make it a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well?
Objection!
But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Flaws, Valerie called her sister Delia, and then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister, Valerie Hawthorne. Hehe. Who is that laughing at a time like this? Forgive me, it's just hilarious. Witness? Is that you? You amuse me, woman, Miss Mia Fey. You certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. That at 14, I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister. Well, and one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? You can't provide evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey? I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey, are stupid or something. Are you stupid or something? Me stupid. How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have the decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. Of course you are. Is this it? Is this really over? That girl made a fool of me, and there's nothing I can do about it? Huh. Without evidence, the trial is over. Who decided that? Mr. Armando. Come now, kitten. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? For example, even if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. Testimony? On the day in question, Delia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Flaws' stolen car and then went to meet with them. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about what Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who is the one person who can testify to that demon woman's crimes? Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. A witness? Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Delia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was the fact her younger sister Delia, disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all. And that person is Terry Falls. Mr. Edgeworth, what is your take on this? Why not? The prosecution has no objection. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Delia's guilt. You're all I have left. Defendant? You've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Delia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Delia is very much alive. And you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want the answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? It was Valerie Hartthorn? Or was it Delia Hartthorn? Delia? Delia, did you betray me? 5 years ago she promised never, ever betray each other. Terry. Delia. It's true. It's true, you are alive. You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth, the real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it. You already know. But there's one thing I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. Delia. I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once and only once. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. Witness? I'm sorry. I apologize. Water. Please. Water. Can't talk. Need water. Oh well, guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. At least it'll match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of the bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on bridge. I watched my car from bridge. I never put no body in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie, not my Delia. Mr. Falls, you're covering her for her. You think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Fay. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final testimony of this trial. Well then, Miss Fay, please proceed with your cross-examination. That's how you want it to end, Mr. Falls. Another guilty verdict go along with your death sentence? There's only one person who can stop it. You, kitten. I think. According to the note, the meeting was supposed to take place at 4:30. You certainly arrived early, didn't you? It was raining, already dark too. You waited on the bridge for 30 minutes? Mr. Falls? Eagle Mountain, that spot. Strong memories. Why did he just clam up? Could it be he's hiding something here? You were quite early, so you waited on the bridge. 1 second. I'm probably about to get text like a billion times again about something pointless. Because there'd never be just one reply. Quite early, so you waited on the bridge, correct? Yeah, I like waiting. I'm used to it. Sure he is, Zebra Boy. Sure he is. Zebra Boy waited 5 years asking a question. Find out why a woman betrayed him. Damn, 30 minutes must have been like a blink of the eye. I watched my car from bridge and never put no body in the car. You were watching the car. That bridge, other side broken. Nobody come from there. So, I was watching car. What else were we expecting him to do? I suppose that's the obvious thing to do, but something's bothering me. Getting that feeling. Contradiction? I wonder what's on the other side of the broken bridge anyway. No one lives there. There's a small shrine up in the mountain, but that's it. Anyway, nobody come, no car, nothing. Mr. Falls, think carefully now. Are you certain that it was Valerie Hawthorne? I never lie, it's the truth. It was Valerie. I remember her face. Wait a minute, if you had remembered her face, then why did you make her wear a scarf as identification? Sorry, I told a little lie. But the woman I met, she was different from the woman standing here now. She was different. It was Valerie. What did you talk to her about anyway? Miss Falls? Valerie told the truth about the kidnapping 5 years ago. She said someone needed to take the blame for it. That was all I could think to do. She said that. That's why she lied, got me the death penalty. And were you satisfied with the answer, witness? Delia died. It was my fault. But I don't really remember. Maybe I did. Maybe I did push her in. It don't matter no more. Either way, my Delia, my sweet teen angel, dead. You just saw that she isn't dead. After Valerie talked to me on bridge, nothing left to live for. How can you be so sure? It was raining at the time, and sunset that day was at 5 o'clock. It would have already been pretty dark at that mountain at 4:30. Please, Mr. Falls, this is your last chance. You've already been taking the fall once for something you didn't do. That woman. It wasn't Delia. Stop right there. What more needs to be said? If it means the death penalty, even if it means taking the blame for murder, you'll still do whatever is necessary to protect her, won't you, Mr. Falls? No, it's obvious, but he's clearly lying. He's been cursed by Delia Hawthorne. He'll probably go to his grave still believing in her. So Falls, even if you can show he's lying, the poor guy will still be cursed. You still have to point out the contradiction anyway. That's the curse of being a defense lawyer, I guess. Sorry about that. Throat just randomly killed me as I was talking. I couldn't mute in time. No, it's not there. There it is. I guess it had to be that one. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You're sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well, then I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. Sure that you're lying. Huh? What? What? Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Faye. You want to know who arrived on the bridge first? Let's look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one that at the end of the bridge, right? But the victim at the end of the bridge... That's the victim at the end of the bridge. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. Mr. Falls? Please don't get so worked up. You just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock. It's true. I had somewhere to go. Special place. Did you go to the special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Delia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under the base of the tree there. It's a special memory for me. This is it. This is what I went to get. This little bottle on a necklace is your memento? It's quite charming, but it looks empty. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene of the crime at 4 o'clock, but then he left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. That much time, Goliah Hartthorn could have easily hidden the body in the trunk of his car. It's like something in my throat. Dude, there's certainly enough time for it. Still got a chance. Mr. Flaws, there's no mistaking it. Huh? Mr. Flaws? That's enough. Please. Witness? I promised her 5 years ago, if it ever happens that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle... No! Stop the trial! Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid. Couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we were so close. Just a little more. I was going to prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill again. Kill sweet Delia again. Mr. Flaws. Mr. Armando. Thanks for the coffee. Mr. Flaws! And so my first trial ended, suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I thought I'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for a young prosecutor as well. But one person, a true criminal, Goliah Hartthorn, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. What a real see you next Tuesday. Forgivable, that witch. Mr. Armando. We were so close to the truth. It was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kitten. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls killed himself. Don't cry, kitten. You're going to make my coffee all salty. I knew it. I knew it wasn't cut out for this. Mia? Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time, and you file them away and eventually forget them. Yeah, is he like in the hospital or something? What the heck is that? That's like a... ICU? Oh. That's intensive care unit. IV bag, that's it. 1 year later in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. Only after that did Goliah Hartthorn get put on trial for her crimes. The verdict that she was ultimately handed down to her was... guilty, of course. Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. It was finally all over. At least, that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all this. Oh. Really? So that's why there's 5 cases, because... Really? I don't want to do this new episode yet, because it's going to take a while anyways. And it might take all the time I need. Oh, man, this is a tricky one. What should I do? What should I do? Man, thinking about it. I guess I could play something else just in case. Because I want the stream to be at least a little bit longer. Just a little bit. But if I can't think of the game... Because the only thing I can think of is what I want to do is play some more Sakuna, because I need to get it some achievements, and I hadn't done that in a while. But it would be just basically rice growing, because I'm trying to get the rice achievements before I get the fight achievements. And then the aphid infestation would be later as well, because I need like all the good stuff. You know what? I guess I'll just make this a short stream. Why not? It has to happen eventually. So I'll just end that. Anyways, for now, thank you all for joining me. I'll stream some more probably tomorrow, because I still don't think I have anything to do. But like I said, we'll see. So either way, thank you for joining me. Have a good night, and see you next time.